terrible. Hi, my name is Brad DeBells with Weedman Lawn Care. I have over 17 years of experience in the green industry. Just completed my PhD at the University of Wisconsin 2 years ago, and I've been working with the Weedman team here for the last 2 years. And I'd like to help answer any of your questions that you have for your home lawn. This spring, you're bound to see a lot of vole damage. The biggest thing we want to make sure of here is that we're differentiating between voles with a V and moles with an M. The way to differentiate between voles and moles is moles are always underground, where the voles are usually above ground, and the moles don't eat any of the plant material. They're actually looking for other insects in the soil, and they will leave mounds in your soil that you'll see and will have to be leveled. So those are two different types of disturbances we can have in our lawn. And the ones in the spring are most often voles and very similar to your normal field mouse that you might see running around your house. And the biggest issue with those is they're eating that green tissue on the surface, and you'll see those trails of dead and decaying plant material. It's really difficult to try to manage these pests because there's a lot of them and they're hard to find over the winter months when they're burrowing under the snow. So the biggest thing we can deal with here is recovery of the turf. So we want to make sure that we rake away some of that material, but be sure to wait long enough into the spring so that we don't damage any of the other living material when the soils are really soft early in the spring. You want to make sure you can walk on that area without leaving any indentation or depression in the soil. If you do, it's too soft, wait another few days or a week until things dry out. Once that happens, a lot of times the grass itself will grow back and we don't have to take any further action. Once in a while, if the areas are severely damaged, you're going to have to go out and reseed some of those spots. If you do have to reseed, your recovery time is looking a bit longer because we have to wait for that seed to germinate, which can take several weeks, and then grow to maturity, which will take a few more weeks. So Mark from Facebook asked, Dr. Brad, what are the chemical ingredients of the type of ice melt for the walk or driveway that won't hurt my lawn? He mentioned that he used the wrong stuff last year. It took a long time for his lawn to recover. So it's really important here to understand that basically any kind of ice melt that we use can potentially damage our turf. It really is just highly dependent upon how much we put down. There are some products out there like magnesium chloride that is a little bit better for our turf. Also potassium chloride is a little bit better for our turf. However, any of these products can damage your turf. If you don't need to use salt, I would consider maybe using a dark colored material like sand that will help melt that area. Now keep in mind, sand works very differently than salt, and that is not actually melting that salt from an exothermic reaction, but instead is warming up that surface from sunlight. Another strategy, if we have to use salt, might be to avoid maybe a foot on the edges of our driveways so that we can help minimize that salt that might run off when we have these freezing and thawing events throughout the winter.